ego, wanting to be famous type of chick. I don't sit for hours with a pen in my hand trying to come up with the best stanzas as fast as I can just to outshine the next man. I don't have any beautiful metaphors or similes to whoop you with, because I'm a poet who is best at offering me and my story, spoken with my own voice. So if y'all choose not to listen after I spit this one piece, well, that's y'all's own personal choice. Still, it's true, I love to spit at all the hottest poetry spots around the world, but at the expense of losing the art of poetry, I'll decline any of those offers. See, because whenever I spit, I want you to hear my story. I want you to hear the story of a young girl matured into a lady learning to be a girl again, just waiting for my chance to live and have fun. I want y'all to hear someone who's passionate and determined, hear someone who's been through pain and has the scars and the tears to prove it, and the legal right to mentally lose it, because stuff has been just that hard. I want y'all to hear someone who can't fake the funk, because if I ain't feeling you, or it ain't no sense in me lying about it. I want you to hear and know the real me every single time I spit, because truth is, I can't let go of who I used to be, and I can't grab hold of who I want to be, so I'm stuck living with the unholy trinity of the past, present, and future me, and that is the sum of my story, all weight and no glory. Yet that's what this is all about, knowing who someone is by allowing them to tell their story that ain't always allowed to be told. See, because I'm nothing more than a storyteller who's just called a poet, who ain't like all these other poets y'all have seen, who don't care nothing about y'all, as long as they can take your dollar, flip it, and make it their own, and as long as they can spit and spit loudly, then they are fine. But to me, they're nothing more than individuals with a thought of expression being verbalized just to create a fan base, as they run through the city bragging about the fact they got some of y'all as they groupies. Let's face it, today's poetry won't be read in tomorrow's literature books. Today's poetry won't be spoken of by little children when they go home and they tell their parents about the stories or the poems that they've read. Today's poetry will only make a lasting impact on the poets who have written the pieces with their fame and their fortune in mind. That's what today's poetry would do. But will we ever get back to the days when telling your stories what made you famous? Will we get back to the days when being creative is what made you popular? Will we get back to the days when taking a pen and a journal to any poetry venue will be the cover charge, and the food for the night will be a poet gracing the stage telling his or her story and us sitting as audience members digesting their stories? Will we ever get back to those days? We can. Let's ignore the hype. Let's push past the revolution that we keep preaching about. Let's stop trying to outshine the next storyteller. Let's stop trying to imitate one another, and let's begin to tell our stories, because that is the art of poetry. That is the essence of poetry. That is the beauty of poetry, and that is the reason of poetry, because someone's got to hear our stories. So let's do it. You tell your story, and you tell your story, while I loudly tell my story, hoping that one day all poets around the world can finally agree to spit real poetry again. Thank you.